First. Well, over in federal court, a GDOE employee is suing the department on allegations of civil rights violation. Cynthia Johnson is accusing Superintendent John Fernandez and Employee Relations Officer Robert Koss of discriminating against her because of her disability. Cynthia Johnson has been with the Guam Department of Education for over 24 years and served as a school health counselor. In her lawsuit, she says GDOE violated her civil rights by discriminating against her because of her disability. She explains that she had back surgery in 2012 and her doctor recommended that GDOE provide her with reasonable work accommodations, which included not standing for long hours or sitting for long periods. After her surgery, Johnson says she was placed at George Washington High School. And although reasonable accommodations were not entirely provided for her, she pushed through and even received an outstanding evaluation at the end of the school year. Johnson says she agreed to the transfer because the school was only 15 minutes away from where she lived, which meant she didn't have to sit for long periods during her car ride to school. The following school year, Johnson said that she received a letter from Superintendent John Fernandez, reassigning her to Atacao Elementary School and demoting her position and pay to be able to accommodate her disability. However, Johnson said she had submitted proof that her doctor cleared her to continue to work as a health counselor. So, a few days later, Johnson explains that Fernandez canceled her demotion and instead sent her back to work as a health counselor, but this time she was being assigned to Inarajan Middle School. Johnson argues that the reassignment was not a reasonable accommodation since the middle school was an hour away from where she lived. In court papers, Johnson pointed out that there were at least 21 other schools within reasonable distance from her home that she could be transferred to, but as a form of discrimination, GDOE sent her to Inarajan Middle because of her disability. She says that Employee Relations Manager Robert Koss even told her that she could simply pull over every 10 minutes to take a break during her hour-long commute. Johnson's attorney, Josh Walsh, however, argued that, quote, having her pull over to get out her car to stand at least 6 times to get to work and home is not a reasonable accommodation, end quote. Johnson also said that Koss continued to harass her, at one point sending her an email that said, quote, only the President of the U.S. and Michael Jackson have a medical practitioner at their side at all times, end quote. Johnson does not specify an amount she is seeking in damages, and of course you can read her lawsuit at PacificNewsCenter.com.